Hello, welcome to another stream of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, continuing Phase 1 of celebrating the game's 10th anniversary with a Twin Perspectives playthrough. Hello there, Ryu. How's your Wednesday going so far? Or you might still be in Tuesday. Hope things are going well. Ryu, they're going well. It is indeed Wednesday now here in your area. Oh, very nice. That's good. Glad that things are going well. And I thought so, yeah. Now that I usually start my streams, not as early as I used to, generally speaking, a lot of places um, are on the day that I'm on. They might be very early on that day, but it still falls on that day. We have a new outfit that I want to have Evie wear for a stream, and we got it from Assassinating Lucy Thorne. This outfit of Xiao Jun's, I haven't had Evie wear this one yet because I want to keep that for the final part of the main story. But the one that we unlocked by killing Lucy Thorne is the Master Assassin. So I'm going to have Evie wear this, so I'll leave it on that screen while I read. Master Assassin. To wear this outfit is to display one's status as a Master Assassin. The sharp silhouette and striking blood-red highlights are a warning to enemies that they look upon death itself. Alright, so now to showcase what this outfit looks like in this screen in all the colors. So we're going to start with the top, of course, and work our way through to the default one. So we have violet, woody brown, and grass green. Fuchsia, muted green, and turquoise. Midnight blue, warm grey, and terracotta. Black, pink, and purple. Steel grey, pink, and dark grey. Crimson, deep crimson, salmon, and grey. Wine, gold, and muted green. Green, violet, and grey. Gold, turquoise grey, and terracotta. Forest green, violet, and terracotta. Taupe, salmon, and grey blue. Beige, violet, and grey blue. Beige, grey blue, and salmon. Ubisoft blue, grey blue, and violet. Teal, violet, and mustard yellow. And this is the default no color. So we'll equip that. because it remembered what color I had selected for yesterday's outfit. So that is the outfit that I'll have Evie wear for this stream. Oh, and the Master Assassin outfit has a perk of decreased detection speed by 25%. Let's see if there's a different cloak that might match that better. There we go, that's better. I still want to keep the same level one that I've got. That one's a better fit and match than the other one I had. So something I was doing before yesterday's stream ended was going into the boroughs and listening to newspaper sellers to listen out for any dialogue. I covered all the ones that are over this side. The Thames doesn't have any newspaper sellers. They'll be on, you know, either side of the shore or this here. So we're now going to check the Strand and Westminster for any potential dialogue from the newspaper sellers that might be different now. Especially anything that might be foreshadowing stuff to come along.
You should be allowed to... That's not to say you both have that.
Hey there, Bat. Welcome. You made a new account so you could connect it to your PlayStation? That's fair enough. How's things? Thanks for the follow.
Transport and Milner Company forced to close their doors. Staff and Co teaches precariously. See the Bank of England. Free tours of one of England's most distinguished buildings. Read the particulars here.
Feast your eyes on these fabulous offers. Unbelievable prizes.
You, sir, buy a paper? More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads.
Oh, nice. That's good. That's good that you're going well.
Omnibuses off the street. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems.
I've been out here for hours and my feet are killing me.
Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime.
Services at unbelievable prices.
Omnibuses off the street. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads.
Discounts on all essential goods and services.
The newspaper seller just ran off. Alright, so none of that dialogue about the Adaway stuff is different from what it updated to.
Manifest says 10. Well?
Perfect for new love or old.
Fascinated by them with some asparagus burn.
I'm well acquainted with your master, you know.
Yes, I suppose it is a bit.
Pardon, ladies and gentlemen. Right you are, sir. Won't be a moment, madam.
Come,
Yes,
step
sir.
closer. Have a look at these beautiful things. Look here, right here.
Any for you?
Landlord, all right.
How's your mum?
Come, step closer. Have a look at these beautiful things. Look here, right here.
More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads.
Ladies, gentlemen, step over here and have a look at all my wondrous wares.
Sale on all rifles and patent revolvers. High quality custom weaponry. Visit Jackie King for
You
details.
won't find better. Ladies,
Pearl Attaway found dead on Static and Coal Train. Investigation in progress.
ahoy! Everything at reduced prices.
Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. Governor Tubani proposes new monetary policy. British currency to crush the francs. Read all about it. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime.
Ladies, gentlemen, step over here and have a look at all my wondrous wares.
Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems.
Prices. Come.
Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime.
Ladies, gentlemen, step over here and have a look at all my wondrous
Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems.
reduced prices. Come.
More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads.
Look here, right here. We've got the best prices in the neighbourhood. You won't find better.
Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime.
Alright, so let's check now the Westminster Borough. Canada is a no-go for moving to. Gaming is no longer a hobby, it's a privilege. Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the gaming situation in Canada. Hey, and Mita, it's going well, thank you. How's things going with you today, dude? Just doing some more reconnaissance with dialogue from newspaper sellers. Before yesterday's stream ended, I went around to the other boroughs just to do checks. But I wanted to leave the Strand and Westminster for today because I was sort of like exhausted from playing the game. So I was like, I'll leave that till tomorrow. And here we are. That Resident Evil 9 Standard Edition is $109. We are cooked over here. Oh yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. The price of even just base editions of games are getting to the price that special editions, or at least the very first tier of special editions, were at. Cheers, Inmita. Thank you, dude. I'm glad to hear that's going well. That's awesome. You just had breakfast and now getting ready for work. Oh, nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed your breakfast, and I hope that work goes well today. That's all good, Amita. Because I killed Lucy Thorne as well, I got a new outfit for Evie that I can have her wear. So for this stream, she'll be wearing the Master Assassin outfit. I still need to get all the music boxes, of course, to unlock the outfit for Evie that is related to that. But there's still plenty of time.
Keep your woman off me.
Roses for sale, individually and by the dozen, of every colour and every
That you can only imagine how much the deluxe is. Yeah, that's the other thing too. When you get to the higher levels of editions, it's just way too much. I think that if you buy the base edition, it should actually be cheaper because you're getting a version that is bare bones, you know. Whereas if you get the special edition, that's when it should have the massive increase because you're getting more than just the bare bones. Hey there, Lone. Thank you for leaving the lurk. Appreciate it. I hope that things are going well today. Ah, we've gone back into the Strand. Okay. Need to go back this way. Actually, we'll fast travel to this part of it. There should be a newspaper seller somewhere in the train station. Definitely recommend checking out Lone Star, who's been doing some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That no matter what, you're paying $100-something. Yeah, that's why I don't mind Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. Granted, like anything, the value that you get out of it is relative to the value you see in it. So if you don't see value in having it because there's only one game on it that interests you, then it's probably not going to be something that you want to spend the money on, even if it is cheaper than buying a brand new game. But the other side of it too is that you might temporarily want to just try that game, and there might be other options of games that you want to try. Like for me, getting PlayStation Plus, it's great because sometimes the game that's free for the month is a game that I plan to play anyway. And I've gotten more sort of like used to just waiting because there's been plenty of times where I've bought a game on sale and then the next month it's on Game Pass. And it's like, damn it. That happened with Doom Eternal. I bought it when it was on sale, and then a month later it was on Game Pass. It was like, wonderful. Hey Mita, you completed Hellblade 2 yesterday. You liked the game, but not more than the first one. You wanted to go for Platinum as well, but you found out that you have to play the game again on permadeath mode on the hardest difficulty, so you thought, no thanks. I do not blame you one bit, Mita. That's understandable as well. And that's the other thing too, like, with the first game, when it talks about the rot, and that after a few deaths, you'll get game over, and then you have to start again, which for the first game was definitely a gimmick. It was just something to put the player on constant awareness. But in the second one, they actually added that as a mode. So that'd be that permadeath mode that you're referring to, of course. But that's good that you completed it. And it's tricky with a sequel because what made the first one so great was that it was all Senua. Like, it wasn't other characters that were present with her. It was other characters that she was remembering. And so that's how they had her be interacting with other people, was just through memories. But then with the sequel, of course, understandably, and I like it about this, but understandably they felt that they needed to expand things a bit by making it that she actually does interact with real people this time in present time. Not that the people she interacted with, like Dylan, that we saw, were not real people, but in the sequel, there's actual living, present time people that Senua interacts with. That you're buying RE9 no matter what. You've played every single game, but it's crazy it's 109 here, but normal price in the US. Yeah, that's totally understandable as well, to have dedication and loyalty to a franchise to that level. That's right, Amita, yeah, Dark Rot mode. Yeah. I want to do more playthroughs of that, but I want to have the audio commentary for one playthrough, and also the other voices that you can hear too. Hey there, Octavius. Good morning. I'm doing well, thank you, Octavius. We've assassinated Lucy Thorne, so another main Templar target has been taken care of. Now it's back to checking for dialogue changes. Amita, yeah, you like that too about the second game. Yeah, and it shows that Senua, while she still does suffer from the trauma of the past, she's now got to a point where she can face that and she can actually use that to help other people. And in that way, she becomes a bit more like a leader, which also is just another evolution of her as a warrior as well. Yeah, Octavius. So we're getting to a point, I feel like, where the pacing is going to improve because the rooks that are on the train are saying less and less different based on minimal progress. And so it's only really the dialogue from Jacob to Evie or Evie to Jacob when you finish a main memory that will have an additional dialogue after you do it. Not every instance, but I'm still checking after every memory just in case. And me too, you liked how she became like Bayek at the end after defeating that guy. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that whole fight too is very, very interesting as well. And that ending, like, I'm very curious to see what happens when you get all the collectibles.
Come take a look.
It looks pretty.
My dear, but I believe there is a reason.
Go on.
It's just always the same here, day in and day out.
Maybe you're like, hit him. What are you doing? Stop. Stop not. Stop not going ahead with it.
See here, I'm about ready to throw myself off one of these.
He nearly did already.
I'll break your face.
I'll break your face. A good comeback to that would be, well, you have plenty of experience breaking faces because yours is, or something like that.
Misunderstanding. Tell that to me, Gav.
Wouldn't you agree?
Deep discounts
Yeah, but
on
I
all
believe
essential goods and services.
Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk. Clog the roads. Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. Bus feud ends in bloodshed. Transportation titans slaughtered. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk clog the roads. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk clog the roads. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Attaway Transport and Milner Company forced to close their doors. Steric & Co. teeters precariously. See the Bank of England. Free tours of one of England's most distinguished buildings. Read the particulars here.
In Mita, you heard that they will make a third game. Yeah, I was reading an article on that, and they said that they're taking on board some of the criticisms that people had for the second game about calling it just a glorified tech demo, and they want to make it more like a quote-unquote game, which to me is a red flag. Because the thing is, and this happens with a lot of stuff, something comes out, it's very unique, it gets its own fan base, and then they do a sequel. And then the fan base who enjoyed the first one enjoy the second one because the first one does a similar structure that the second one, the second one does a similar structure that the first one did. But then the company is like, oh shit, some people didn't like that style, so we need to change it. And so what they do is they start to add more, and then they add more, and then they add more, and then it just becomes like any other game and loses its own sort of like unique flavor as well. So I'm kind of like a bit cautious if they're going to do something like that, because to me, the way that they've done it is the sweet spot. And it's okay if you don't like it, that's fine. But by the same token, there's stuff that I don't like, but I'm not going to tell people that they can't actually have it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like Final Fantasy. I'm not going to go around saying, you shouldn't play Final Fantasy because I don't like it, because I don't like that kind of game. It's like, no. So when companies do this kind of thing, it's a bit of a red flag for me. So hopefully they don't do things that actually compromise what the first two were. Because the last thing we need is Hellblade to become just like any other kind of like third-person action-adventure, game as well. In Meta, exactly. They should keep their original idea, otherwise it will turn into an RPG game. That's true. Very, very true. And I get it, they want to get more people to become a fan of stuff. And so they feel like they need to add elements that are from other stuff that those fans like to try and entice them over to their side of things. Assassin's Creed did the very same thing with RPGs. And granted, they've all had RPG elements in various ways. You only have to go as early as Assassin's Creed 2, and you look at the fact that you have different levels of weapons. So you have a weapon might have 2 attack, and then you find one that has 4 attack, So that's the bare minimum RPG element that's in Assassin's Creed 2. But when it comes to like full-fledged, massive scope RPG, that's Odyssey, in the AC series. That's when they did that as well. And I kind of prefer how Remedy does it, because Remedy, what they do is they go, right, we've got this universe, we want to do something new in the universe, so how about we come up with a different kind of style of game? And that's the beauty of what they've created, is they could do a point-and-click adventure game set in the same universe if they wanted to. They could do a pure first-person shooter game in the Remedy universe if they wanted to. So there's a lot of these different possibilities. and I don't know how it's going to be. We'll have to wait and see until it comes out. But A Plague Tale Resonance being a prequel and actually having a different kind of like, style and approach, I feel like that's a better way to do it because you're still setting it in the same universe, but you're not having it need to actually be 100% like the other two games, you know? So for Sophia, her sort of like story can be done in a very different kind of game and all that kind of stuff. In Meta, when you try to make a game for everyone, it becomes a game for no one. Exactly in Meta, and it's in many other things too, you know? Like, let's say you got two people in your life that you're trying to please, and they both have very opposite ways of doing things, and you try to, do things in a similar way to satisfy one person, but then you also try to do the other thing for the other person. Sooner or later, you're either going to crash out, you're going to burn, or one of the other people's going to see that you're doing the opposite to what you do with them with someone else, and they're just going to be like, "Oh, what a hypocrite you are," kind of thing. So when you put it into like video games kind of thing, you need to be aware of that too, where it's like, if you make a good game, then you just need to focus on that and focus on the fans who are a fan of it, and naturally you will get more fans if they become interested in it. Because when you think about it, like, there's heaps of franchises where people didn't play the first game. They played like the 10th game and they became a fan of the series, so they went back and played the earlier games. It's a similar principle. You're just creating a game, and how it is what people respond to. Hey, nah, bro. Oh, the minority doesn't like the game. Oh, well, better change everything. Exactly, nah, bro. It's that kind of like changes. Like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely times where it is good to add something new. But to use an analogy, let's say you buy a 100-piece puzzle and you put the puzzle together. Every piece was, fitting in properly. And then someone comes along and they say, "Nah, I don't like this picture. It needs something else added. Here's 5 more pieces." Well, these 5 more pieces might be new, but how the fuck are you going to fit them into the 100-piece puzzle that you've already put together that already is in harmony and is perfect? You're going to have to take pieces out and you're going to have to wedge them in and then create offshoots, So it's like, you got to sort of like draw a line in the sand. Octavius, by the way, it's mostly likely that Hellblade 3 is on its way. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it just depends on what they want to do, because they want to make it less of a sort of like cinematic experience, is one way to put it simply. Exactly, and Mita, yeah. No, bro, prequels are kind of get out of jail free card. If you make it and people love it, great, and if not, they don't have to play it again. Exactly, no, bro. That's it. It's definitely another way to look at it. But yeah, I feel like there are ways to do different kinds of games with the same franchise, but you're better off doing it as a spin-off, not with any characters that are actually in the other games, but just have new characters that are outside of whatever factions are in, the universe as well. Like in GTA, for example, you could do a spin-off game where you actually play as one of the police officers in the game, if you wanted to, you know. And there you could make changes if you wanted to. But still, even then, you'd have to make sure it still feels like GTA. So there'd have to be, a police officer that's actually a bit, crooked as well.
More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Who killed Pearl Attaway and Malcolm Milner? Police remain in doubt. Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to
There's
be
actually some
seen.
dialogue that the
Passengers
newspaper seller
forced to
said
walk,
that I didn't
clog
get
the
the full
roads.
transcription of, so I'm trying to hope that they say it again.
Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Bus titans Milner and Attaway slain. London's transportation company shattered.
Front now.
More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk,
Come on now,
clog the roads.
Front now.
Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight
Rock
for
on,
travel
girl.
problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk,
now.
clog the roads.
I swear, this is the same voice actor for
Omnibus
SEO
companies on the rocks.
in Assassin's
Crowds
Creed
wait
Origins.
for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads. Series of bank robberies disclosed. Where will the villain strike next? Speculation abounds. Omnibus companies on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Omnibuses off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems.
Nah, bro, and then when you get really successful like Rocksteady, you can destroy your company's best franchise and turn a series of story-driven rhythm-based combat into a looter shooter. I'm looking at you, Arkham. Oh yes, Suicide Squad killed Rocksteady. I mean, killed the Justice League. Yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of that style of game, then I could see maybe the appeal, but in terms of like what they had done with the previous Batman Arkham games, I think it was a major, major, major wrong decision to do that. They would have been better off just creating their own new DC-based game that had no ties to the Batman Arkham series at all. Hello there, Spectrum. It's going well, thank you. Just doing some more reconnaissance with dialogue from newspaper sellers at the moment. There's a very specific piece of dialogue that I heard the newspaper seller say, but I didn't get enough of the words down transcribed, so I'm trying to wait and see if they will say it again. How's things going with you? Nah, bro, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was just like, because they were wasn't that like what the Avengers game was that they did, or maybe it was a different style. Spectrum, did they remove that dancing rabbit emote you used to use? They may have done, Spectrum. Like, if it was a global emote, they might have changed it, or if it was based on like a hype train emote unlocking, maybe. But I'm not too sure which kind of emote it would be, like what category it would be under. But that's a shame though if they removed it, because that can be annoying. It's like products in shops. there was a very specific soup that I used to like to get, but they got rid of that flavor. I'm like, right. And the thing was, like, it would sell out. So I guess they were like, we're sick of selling this product. Let's not sell it anymore. We're sick of making money. Glad to hear that you're doing well, Spectrum. That's good.
Omnibus company's on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Omnibus is off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads. Train leaving Waterloo Station is site of gruesome murder. Omnibus is off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight.
Definitely not the dialogue I'm waiting for. It was something Attaway Transport and Starrick Company. It was something like that.
London General Omnibus Company.
But I couldn't get the rest of it.
Buses are back on the roads. Londoners breathe easy once more.
I mean, technically it's on the stream and the playthrough, so even if I can't actually transcribe it fully, it doesn't ultimately matter. Because it's not like it's going to magically disappear from the stream as having been, heard without me talking over it. So that's the main important thing.
More on the omnibus crisis.
But I'll just wait a split second. Well, not a split second, but I'll just wait a little bit more.
Forced to walk, clog the roads. Bus titans Milner and Attaway slain. London's transportation company shattered. Get the day's events right here. Omnibus company's on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours. Enjoy a paper in the meantime. Omnibus is off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. Sale on all rifles and patent revolvers. High quality custom weaponry. Visit Jackie King for details.
Hey there, Keone. How's things going?
More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen.
Spectrum, I think it was a global emote. Ah, I got you now. Global one, yeah. Yeah, could have been taken away, but they might have got rid of it for some reason.
Omnibus companies.
Yeah, Keone, little old geezer. What the hell?
Enjoy a paper in the meantime.
Got a good memory though. Remembers all the information in the newspaper.
More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads. Omnibus is off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. More on the omnibus crisis. No buses to be seen. Passengers forced to walk, clog the roads. Omnibus is off the streets. Cabbies increase fares. No end in sight for travel problems. Omnibus company's on the rocks. Crowds wait for hours.
Alright, I'm not going to wait any longer. The dialogue that I'm hoping for to transcribe the rest of, it'll probably happen later at a later point. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's have a look at the main story memories. So we're in sequence 6 still, and I've got 3 memories left. So the next one will kick off the whole thing about 2 Penny. Let's have a look-see at the map. In terms of like what character level I'm up to, I'm way, way, way over level 5, so let's have a look. We got that Charles Darwin memory, we got this Charles Dickens memory, we got this Charles Darwin memory here, then we got a Darwin and Dickens conspiracy, our mutual friend. That one's annoying, especially if you are very powerful, because you have to have a fight with this guy, but you have to pretend that you're not intending to kill him, and so you have to balance how much damage you do against him versus making sure that the fight doesn't look fake to the other person that he's trying to impress. And you need to make sure that she doesn't figure out that it's all like an act that's been put on. So that one can be quite humorous, but it can also be quite difficult as well. What I might do, I don't think it should hurt to do at least one of these, to take a bit of a break from the dialogue cataloging in terms of like NPCs and newspaper sellers and Train Hideout. I'll still take note of dialogue and stuff for it, but let's go and do this. The cruel caricature. So we'll do this first as Evie, and then when we finish it, we'll do it again, but as Jacob.
I say thief! Stop that thief!
Someone help! Stop that
Someone's up to no good.
Someone help me! Please!
That's it,
the
mate.
devil ran off. What the hell is all that about?
Huh?
Landlord, all right.
Look here! Right here! We've got the best...
I have exactly what you need. One moment, please.
There, don't be shy. Come and have a look.
Cruel caricature. Track down the source of anti-Darwin propaganda.
We are not apes. If the circumstances were not so grave, I'd compliment the artist on the wonderful caricature. They are fools if they believe they can stop progress by printing leaflets and killing newsboys. We must find out who is behind this propaganda before more innocents are harmed. I should very much like it if you could find and remove these awful things. Perhaps you can catch one of the bill posters red-handed.
Darwin, is your head and neck okay? You seem like you're evolving into something that is like a bit of a pretzel. Hello there, Sona. How's things?
Everything you need right here. The best items at the best prices.
I wonder what's happening over there.
You've done it now, Missy!
Back away.
You there!
Change your life.
Stop!
I have with me today a new miracle cure, a medicine previously unknown to the Occidental scientists.
All right, my good man. All you have to do is go back to the shop and collect it. Simple as that.
You must rescue me, my darling. I'm overwhelmed.
I can see what I need right there.
Sona, Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you as well. Hey there, Shaky. How's things going, dude?
Unbelievable prices.
Ah, thanks for making that clip, Pretzel Man. Thank you very much.
Deals galore. You won't find the likes of these anywhere else in London. Save yourself time and money.
We've got the best prices in the
Come on, feast your eyes on these fabulous offers.
Oh, that's okay, Shaky, for the typo. That's all good.
Not apes? Of course we're not apes. Look at us.
God created us in his image, and he does not look like a monkey.
Speaking of monkeys, look out behind you. There's a three-headed monkey.
This is vandalism. Someone should inform the police.
This is a waste of paper, if you ask me.
Apes? This is outrageous, I tell you. Outrageous.
God created us in his image, and he does not look like a monkey.
Apes? This is outrageous, I tell you. Outrageous.
Of course we are not apes. I don't need anyone to tell me that.
Not apes? Of course we're not apes. Look at us.
Of course we are not apes. I don't need anyone to tell me that.
This is vandalism. Someone should inform the police.
Of course we are not apes. I don't need anyone to tell me that.
Not apes? Of course we're not apes. Look at us.
Of course we are not apes. I don't need anyone to tell me that.
This is vandalism. Someone should inform the police.
Of course we are not apes. I don't need anyone to tell me that.
Apes? This is outrageous, I tell you. Outrageous.
Of course we are not apes. I don't need anyone to tell me that.
Apes? This is outrageous, I tell you. Outrageous.
This is a waste of paper, if you ask me.
Not apes? Of course we're not.
That's the one I was looking for. This is a waste of paper, if you ask me. Not Fry, thank you very, very much for the 105 stream streak. Holy shit. Thank you very, very much for that. Wow, 105 stream streak. Thank you. How's things going today, dude?
Look at us.
God created us in his image, and he does not look like a monkey.
This is vandalism. Someone should inform the police.
That enemy just sliding along, and their rifle is like hovering behind them. Oh, for 105 is a bit crazy, lol. It always just makes me realize how many streams I actually do as time goes on in a year. Like, it's just nuts. Glad to hear that you're going good, Not Fry. That's excellent. I'm doing well myself. It's still hot here right now, but it's not as hot, thankfully. But going well. Been making good progress story-wise in this game. It's starting to feel like the times where they update the dialogue for a lot of the rooks is a larger window of time. But I'll still go through with a fine-tooth comb and stuff. But as a result, if it turns out that I'm just hearing the same stuff over and over again, then I can move on to something else even quicker. That's a shitload of streams. It really, really is.
What was that? Did you hear that?
I've had enough of you, girl!
I call bullshit on that. How did he see me, like, from that? He got friggin' eyes on the back of his head, it seems.
Should I be concerned
See?
with what's happening over there?
Bullshit. They got their fucking back. Absolute bloody bullshit.
Oh, come off it.
You know it's true. Court won't believe it without evidence. Jude, tell you agree with me.
It doesn't matter. It won't ruin my good name. I don't care how awful John is to me. Now, James, there must be something. Anything in the law allows me to force on maintaining my reputation. Is it?
I can't tolerate this any longer, David. We must free Jude from that elusive monster.
June, I know you did get some violence, but I can see no other way to help you. I'm sorry.
However John deserts is none of my concern. My opinion, there is no other way forward.
I understand.
David, I think we can agree this conversation has never taken place. I wish you luck.
Lies can be found.
Now, I may have found us a way to get us out of this jam we're in.
Huh?
The Bobbies will be here in a minute. I'd better leave.
Stay here. I'll fetch the authorities.
Sod off!
Leave me alone, you rat!
Poor soul.
God created us in his image, and he does not look like a monkey.
Alright, so none of those enemies seem to have any dialogue.
Not apes? Of course we're not apes. Look at us.
Someone's...
Colour and every size.
Go, go.
Roast nuts. Something to nibble before the show.
Step over here and have a look at wondrous wares. Have everything the well-reported lady.
I won't check the list.
That's hardly necessary.
Me.
We have a problem! There she goes!
Mate, it's...
What's she doing here? Stop her!
I think I'll nip off for a pasty. Things are going to end badly if I stick around.
Stay calm. Stay calm. If I stay calm, there won't be any trouble.
The way that enemy like barked like a dog. Wasn't expecting that. So far, there hasn't been any dialogue from Evie herself. Even if that turns out to be the case for this entire mission, I'm still going to do it again, but as Jacob. But it just means that I'll do it quicker.
How's your brother? Not dead yet, What a terrible...
Slow down. Faster! Move it! Come on! Come on! Easy, girl.
I think I've begged myself horse.
Hup, hup, go, go. Greeting.
You! What do you think you're doing?
I'm thinking I might run off and join a travelling show.
Ladies, gentlemen, step over here and have a look at all my wondrous wares.
Convincing's not enough. He must prove her to be a...
We think the world of you.
It's not a desk.
Oh!
Oh, no, Mr. C, my friends, we must rise up and fight.
Keone, going back to Syndicate was nice, gotta be honest. Oh, that's good that you enjoyed going back to play it. There's some things about it here and there that I criticize, but I do feel like overall it's still a good Assassin's Creed game, and it's certainly Ubisoft Quebec's best game still, I think. Just want to double check that they don't have any dialogue, in case there's some kind of thing where if you don't get into the area quick enough, the dialogue will be cut off. That can sometimes happen too. You don't get close enough to the people speaking quick enough. And sometimes that's not the case.
You're not getting out of here alive!
Okay, so there was only one instance of Evie saying anything in that memory, so I know for sure that there's going to be something that different that Jacob will say. Or it might be the case that they decided to just have them both say the same thing, which could also be what happens. But regardless, we're going to do that memory again, but this time as Jacob.
Take a break, Evie.
We are not apes. If the circumstances were not so grave, I'd compliment the artist on the wonderful caricature. They are fools if they believe they can stop progress by printing leaflets and killing newsboys. We must find out who is behind this propaganda before more innocents are harmed. I should very much like it if you could find and remove these awful things. Perhaps you can catch one of the bill posters red-handed.
AC, hello there, dude. Thank you for leaving the lurk. I hope that everything's going well. Definitely recommend people check out AC's channel. doing some Conan Exiles. Also a fan of the Dishonored series as well. Since we've already done this as Evie, I can just fly through this now as Jacob because I don't need to re-listen to all the dialogue from the enemies and stuff, or the NPCs.
He'll be fine.
Right off the boat, direct from France. You won't find it anywhere.
You lost. Now be a big boy and come to
Where did he go?
We have an intruder!
Slice you to bits!
It's some sort of commotion. It's a lovely thought, my dear.
And now you're coming up with all these
Are you asking?
This
Right, I think it's starting to score.
Watch it, you bloody in...
It's sod off time.
That's a really good example right there of how pedantic they were with this game in not wanting players who chose to have the hood on to actually have the hood on the entire time. Like, there was no little sort of like mini cutscene. It was just simply, I walked up to the poster as Jacob, I pressed the button, and then he started the animation for pulling off the poster, and yet it automatically put him back to his hat and took him out of his hood. Like, I've never seen a game that proactively wants to really, really prevent a player from having a simple hood on or hood off. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
That's a good go.
And the logic of, oh yeah, but, you know, assassins wearing a hood, it would look, they'd stick out like a sore thumb. It's not realistic.
Don't make me come over there.
And it's like, I like realism in games, but I don't expect full, total, complete, 100% one-to-one realism, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're still playing a video game. And so I don't care if people think that an assassin wearing a hood would make them automatically detected by every single person and enemy. Therefore, the video game logic of them being an assassin and being able to get away with it wouldn't make sense. So we need to make it realistic. It's like, no. If the player wants to have the hood on, let them have the fucking hood on. If the player wants to keep it off, which is fine, then let them keep it off. It's like, we're not trying to do a documentary style video game here where it's like, we can't have a character blending in amongst a group of people wearing an assassin outfit because in real life people would 100% know that the person that is blending with them doesn't belong and all that kind of stuff. It's like we're playing as a fictional character in a historical setting that is a sci-fi genre story that uses real elements, as in real people from history, but it adds fictional elements to that. It's never been a 100% realistic series. It's never been a 100% historically accurate series. You know, there's...
Oi! What are you doing over there?
Move it, you stupid animal!
I can't remember what dialogue Evie said, but in any case, that's the only dialogue that the character says. The thing is, though, like, if you were doing a parody or a meme of, like, you know, an assassin wearing their outfit and blending in amongst a group of people and then having them, you know, be 100% aware, like, that's fair enough. You know, that's fine.
What am I about to get myself into?
I'll teach you some manners!
Don't tell me.
Stop it! Please! I beg you!
Who are you working for? And why are they so violent against Mr. Darwin's theories?
Darwin refused to cooperate with us. We wanted to recruit him, but he rebuffed all our offers. We've tried to intimidate him, blackmail him, but he's a stubborn old git.
I'm going to take your operation apart.
Something's happening.
I need to redo this again as Evie after I finish as Jacob. Alright. So one of the things I'm doing in this playthrough is I'm trying to catalog dialogue, and that also includes stopping still to check for dialogue from NPCs. And so what happened was, when I was playing as Evie, when the guy had been spotted putting the posters up, I hung around the NPCs expecting that maybe they would be making some comments, but they weren't. So then I started chasing after the target, and then they eventually got to where they end up if you don't successfully tackle them. So as Jacob now, because I wasn't worried about getting the dialogue from those groups of people near the dude putting up the poster, because I know that there's no dialogue from them, it allowed me to tackle the guy and actually get dialogue. So we'll have to do this again as Evie.
Travelling show in France. You'd have hot food and plenty of travel.
Huh? I wonder what that is.
Also, I know that online there's something where it's like the argument against the games being historically accurate by saying that they've always been historically like when people say, oh, they've always been historically accurate with the series, and then people counter that with, oh yeah, so there was really some guy who was punching the Pope in Assassin's Creed 2. But the thing about that is that, yes, that is true. You know, Ezio does punch a Pope, and that's not what happened in real life, of course. But that's the fictional element of a real person from history being added, and a fictional scenario for the purposes of a video game as well. So with that kind of thing, to say that it's not historically accurate is definitely true. And it also shows that the series hasn't been always historically accurate, and so therefore there's always going to be the room to add extra details to a character's life from history that may not have actually happened, but for the purposes of storytelling and all that kind of stuff. Like, when you think about it, there'd be people from history where it's cut and dry whether or not you would classify them as an assassin or a Templar. But for characters where there's a little bit of leeway, where they could be on the assassin side or they could be on the Templar side, that's when they decide to add maybe something fictional to that character's life to nudge them closer to either the assassins or the Templars. You know, so it's a constant kind of thing. And then you get, like, you know, characters in Black Flag like Edward Kenway, and like arguably he is, in being a pirate, he's kind of like an anti-hero in a way. But it also plays into that idea of you get characters in a story that are part of an organization, or they're part of a point in time where there's a certain expectation about other characters, you know. So when you think about the golden age of piracy era, like with all the sort of, like, you know, elements in there, you of course have a character like Edward that does partake in, you know, getting drunk and all that kind of stuff. And it's not until later in the story that he even is shown to be unfaithful to Caroline as well. But for the longest time, he's someone that isn't, whereas a lot of the other pirates, I imagine, could potentially be seen as not having any problem doing that because they're away, you know, from them for so long. So I can see why that would be a thing. But Edward, of course, not being someone who is even based on someone, like, there's always going to be an element of someone from real life in a character, because there's very, very general things about humans that you can't not see in multiple different people. And the same goes for fictional characters as well. You can try as much as you can to make them separate from someone. You can try and make them look completely different to someone else, but at the end of the day, there's still going to be things about the character that people might go, oh, that reminds me of this character. And it's not just, you know, physical things, it's also personality traits and all that kind of stuff. And so with the Assassin's Creed series, it's that balance of, when you do have a main character, what things are you doing with them that are based on a real historical figure, or what is completely and utterly just an original character. And so with Edward, for example, they make it that he does have this kind of like moral code, you know, where there's certain things that he won't do. And so that's why his character is very perfect for the whole thing with the assassins of nothing is true versus everything is permitted, because he takes it literally and uses it for means that are very selfish and greedy, you know. And through the journey that he goes on and the people that he loses or that he suffers, it's through that he genuinely changes and realizes that the whole time he's been going about things the wrong way, and the way in which, you know, hurts other people and causes all these problems, you know. So you have that redemptive arc. Whereas there's certain characters that if you had them from real history, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do that. But then again, it comes back to how much of the real historical figure do you want to have in your story versus how much do you want to be able to add that's fictional. And you look at things like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, for example, which is a movie. I don't know if I got the title 100% right, but is that movie saying that Abraham Lincoln was actually a vampire hunter and that vampires exist, and that's what he was doing when he wasn't being, you know, president? So there are examples of real people from history being put in completely fictionalized settings, or giving them completely fictionalized aspects of their life that wasn't actually a thing. because I tackled that guy and didn't wait for dialogue like I did with Evie, with the crowd of people that were near the guy who ran off, I need to do it again as Evie to then tackle the guy to get her variation of what she says to him when you tackle him.
My wife told me the salads I make tend to be on the dry side. This is definitely something that needs addressing.
What did the baby corn say to the mama corn? Where's popcorn? Thank you for redeeming those as impressions, Dr. Darling. I like that first one about addressing. Okay, so let's go back into that again, this time as Evie, and then tackle the guy to get the dialogue variation. Hello there, Ciala. Hope things are going well. Greetings, Mr. Jacob Fry. How's London? Just doing this Charles Darwin mission. I did it as Evie first, but there's a point where you find the guy who's been putting up the posters that are making fun of Charles Darwin, and there was a crowd of people around the poster. So when the guy ran off, I had Evie just wait there just to see if there was any dialogue from that crowd of people. But what ended up happening was the guy that ran off, he got to the final end point where he just basically disappears, and then you go down to the sewers. So when I finished that memory, and then I changed to Jacob, and then went back in to do his version of it, the second time around I didn't need to worry about getting dialogue, and I knew that there was no point hanging around that crowd of people. So this time around, as Jacob, I actually chased after the guy and tackled him. And then there was dialogue. So now that I know that, I've got to go back in now as Evie and tackle the guy this time as Evie to get her variation of the dialogue. Dr. Darling, thank you very, very much for the 100 stream streak. That is amazing. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Keone, have you played Conan, the Xbox 360 version? I played a bit of it, Keone. I never actually finished it though, but I was liking it. It felt like the first two God of War games. At least in the way of having like chests that you would open that had, you know, a different thing in it depending on what color it was. Ciala, you just now wake up and finish shower, lol. You hate this really? What kind of person that finally takes a shower at 1:30, 1:45 p.m.? Well, I mean, you know, there's some circumstances where you might have to just, you know, go and do something that's last minute or unexpected and don't really have time to have a shower. So by the time you get that done and then get back home, then it's like, okay, now I can have a shower. We've already heard Darwin's dialogue here for a while, so I'll just grab this and then go on to the next part. So this time around as Evie, we'll just tackle the guy.
There's some sort of scuffle over there.
Come over there!
This is the end.
This is really, really fucking bad. It's past time to be gone.
I'm coming over there!
Of course we are not apes. I don't need any...
Your life ends now!
For fuck's sake, game. I don't care if the NPCs are blocking the path. It's a combat scenario. Get the fucking NPCs out of there. Yeah, that game, Keone, I wouldn't mind actually playing it again, but this time finishing it. But yeah, I like the actor that they got for Conan in that game. It's Ron Perlman.
We're 3 short.
Wait a minute. We're 3 short. Search me. Search me. Half a ton of lumber don't just go walking off.
There's no...
Blade neck. Blade neck.
She's an entrance.
He's got a bleeding neck.
Put an end to this war.
I must put an end to this. Oh, I have to become anonymous to rip a poster off a wall. You and your master both. Mr. Stevens. Take more pride in your work, man. Sometimes it takes little... Wait a minute. That's what it sounds like to my ears now in this game whenever I'm running through areas with NPCs. It's all just it's all just a cacophony of all these different dialogues and words and everything jumbling together.
Atta girl. Faster! Move it! Come on!
Should I be concerned with what's happening?
Come on! Out of my way!
What's going on here? Hold it! Right there!
Nice one, Keone. GTA Sand Syndicate.
Easy.
How'd you do?
You! What do you think you're doing?
Alright, so now that I don't have to wait to see if these people staring there actually have any dialogue, we can just tackle this guy as Evie this time and get her dialogue with him.
To Queen What's-her-name?
Was expected. Was expected. I left as a...
Penny for a call
Just
for
a little
help.
generosity.
A bus to
Why do you all...
No good at all.
That. What a fucking asshole. Plus those NPCs friggin' acting like they're bloody thick tree trunks stopping movement really got fucking old too. Now I bet you the checkpoint was made once the guy disappeared, which means we have to restart the whole fucking memory again and do it as Evie again. Again. Yep. Ciala, look, 14:28 p.m. here, almost evening. That is totally fair, Ciala. Thank you very much for stopping in to chat for a bit. Thank you for leaving the lurk too. I hope that things go well.
We are not apes. If the circumstances were not so grave, I'd compliment the artist on the wonderful caricature.
A real bargain.
The customers will come.
God created us in his image, and he wants us to
Ugh.
praise his image.
Sorry, just my luck.
Better scamper off if you want to linger.
Oh, he's here!
Please, please, don't kill me, please.
Stop there!
Someone should inform the police. I'll surrender!
You impertinent oaf! You're gonna let him ignore us like that?
Right you are.
They were delivered just this morning.
That fry woman is what she doing here?
Ah!